everyone, my name is Jamerson and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk about editor Yuji being the perfect protagonist. Ever since Jujutsu Kaisen's serialization, many people have expressed Yuji being a terrible protagonist, and there are several reasons why these people believe Yuji is not suitable to being a protagonist. A couple of reasons are that he doesn't get enough screen time as other shonen protagonists does, he doesn't have a crazy overpower ability, he always needs somebody to help him win, and it's not very much involved in the overall plot. But just because Yuji doesn't do certain things that other protagonists do in their series, does that mean that he isn't a great protagonist in his own right? Before I prove that Yuji is the perfect protagonist, let us discuss what makes a great one. According to Google, a good main character or protagonist is a central character who is the focus of the story and acts as a surrogate for the audience. They are involved in the story, interact with other characters, and are affected by the main plot. There are several traits that makes a great protagonist, which are a strong sense of purpose that makes the character stand out, a distinct personality with their own traits, quirks, and mannerisms, being relatable to the audience and invoking empathy in them, and a character must develop and show growth throughout the story. Now that we understand what makes a great main character, let's see how Yuji fits those criteria. In the beginning of the series, Yuji's main purpose is to help people and be surrounded by friends and family when he dies, and this was the dying wish of his grandfather. Some may say that this purpose is pretty weak and generic, and I thought so too, but it didn't really bother me that much. But after reading Jujutsu Kaisen for so long, I feel like Yuji's purpose is strong and really stands out in the world of Jujutsu sorcery. The sorcerers in this series are supposed to be like the good guys, but they're very cold and calculated, devoid of any emotions, and it's honestly kind of expected being a sorcerer, because the relationships are not really a thing here. And in the worlds of sorcery, power is really valuable to people, not relationships. And so Yuji's motivations to be a sorcerer greatly contrast the motivations of other sorcerers, and it's probably one of the reasons why Gojo Satoru liked Yuji so much and took him under his wing, because it aligns with his goal of building a generation of special great sorcerers that work together and that aren't alone at the top. Yuji also has a secondary purpose in the series, and that is to contain and eliminate the King of Curses, which is honestly very similar to other shonen like Naruto and Black Clover, but Yuji willingly ate, like he chose to eat Sukuna's finger.
I beg your pardon?
Whereas characters like Naruto, he didn't really have a choice in the matter. It was just kind of thrust upon him that he had Kurama inside of him. But Yuji willingly ate Sukuna's finger, regardless of knowing what the consequences is, and it turns out that his body is capable of containing Sukuna, and he's resolved to collect the other fingers of Sukuna and let himself get executed in order to help other people, or he felt like that was his role to fulfill in this series. And I feel like that's pretty strong, and it's honestly kind of crazy to think about you're willing to do that, because I don't know anyone that would really do that in real life. As shown by Gege in the series, Yuji has a quite distinct personality from other characters in the series. He's very warm and lovable and gets along with everyone, even if he doesn't know them that really well. For instance, in the Kyoto Exchange arc, he just met Todo, and Todo's purpose was to beat the shit out of Yuji and kill him, but then Todo pretty much became his brother, his best friend, and trained him and made him a sorcerer, and they're best buddies up until now. And Yuji has always had this special knack of making people felt seen. Characters such as Junpei and Yoko from his junior high school, they expressed how Yuji's made them feel seen, and even characters that's relevant now, like Megami, they really like Yuji as like a character, and they want to be more like him, or like want to be like by his side. And he's kind of like this warm son that that everybody gravitates to. And one of the more interesting personality traits of Yuji that I like is that he's a big movie buff type of guy. Like, he bonded over several characters about the movies I like. Junpei is one of them. Even in the recent chapters, he spoke with Sukuna about where the beginning of his movie Love came from, where his hometown began being like becoming empty after a while, and he kind of just retreated to the movie theaters to escape from that. In a recent interview with Gege Akutami, he said that Yuji is designed to be relatable to the audience, supposed to be a window for us to view the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. And honestly, now looking back at that, I feel that, because there are certain moments that happen in the story where I felt the pain that Yuji was feeling. For example, in the Shibuya arc, when Nanami was killed by Mahito and Yuji witnessed that, I felt the pain that Yuji was feeling, because I love Nanami. Nanami is like a super great character, and Yuji is one of my favorite characters in the series, and I felt really bad that was happening to him, because Nanami was a great mentor towards Yuji, and he really cared about Yuji, not as just being a sorcerer, but also he wanted Yuji just to be like a child, because Yuji, at the end of the day, he is still a child in all of this. So told him it wasn't bad to be a child, and I felt really bad that Yuji had to witness that. I was super happy that Yuji had that glow up in Shibuya and beat the shit out of Mahito, because Mahito is a cancer to like Yuji. And like, even now in the recent chapters, this glow up that Yuji's getting, like, it's so really good, that I'm seeing Yuji like glow up and finally getting the revenge, or like just desserts that he's rightly deserved, because and I think that's one of the things that makes him so keep people so empathetic towards Yuji, is that Yuji, in the beginning, he is this naive character, just entered this world of Jujutsu Kaisen without knowing what's going on, but he entered it with noble intentions, and then slowly his purpose has been like denied by like so many characters like Kenjaku and Sukuna and Mahito, but the great thing about Yuji is that he's always kept moving forward and believing, even though it was hard for him to believe in it, but he kept believing that he'll be able to do what he needs to be done to become like stronger and to like fulfill his goal that he wants to fulfill. And that's one of the things I love about Yuji. Like, he struggles, but he always hangs in there, and when he finally gets what he deserves, like, it's so satisfying to see. And our boy Yuji has for sure grown as a character since the beginning of this series, where he was just this naive kid. He's now this mature young adult that understands who he is as a person and what he's been fighting for this entire time. In the beginning of the series, Yuji felt that he had a role to fulfill, to like helping people out, and being the one to finally end the King of Curses Sukuna's reign. But then as time went on throughout the series, he realized that people aren't just tools. They don't have roles. People have value in their lives, no matter how small they are, whether they're they have a family, or they're walking a dog, or even if they don't amount to anything. There are a lot value in people's lives, and people who just shit on and throw the values away like trash, like Sukuna and Mahito. He doesn't really like those type of people, and he's willing to protect that value, the value that people have in their lives, from those type of people who wants to use them as tools and throw them away. And on top of like growing as a character like mentally and emotionally, Yuji has grown stronger like physically. In the beginning, he's a great martial artist, has a durable like body, and like, you know, he just ends there and locks in. But now on his series, he has 2 curse techniques: cleave, I believe dismantle as well, and also a blood manipulation. He has reverse curse technique, simple domain, a domain expansion, which we don't exactly know what that is now, and what we probably know soon. And also he has a curse tool, which just revealed in this recent chapter. So Yuji has definitely grown, not just emotionally and mentally, but also physically as well, to where he's one of the strongest characters in the series now. That's going toe to toe with hand error Sukuna, who's now at this point revived his arms. So personally, I feel like after reading JJK for so long, I feel like I understand what the main theme of Jujutsu Kaisen is, and that is, you know, it is good. While it's good to be the strongest in something, being the best at something, being at the top, it is also even better if you have somebody to share that success with, like your friends and your family. You know, have them there next to you by your side so you can celebrate it, because it's very lonely when you're the only person that can do something, as shown by characters like Gojo, who's felt alone, and I'm sure that Sukuna has also felt alone too. And Yuji is a perfect example of this theme, because while he is like a strong person that has potential for like to be able to do incredible things, he's like always willing to like throw down for others and sacrifice himself if he needs to. He values the lives of other people, you know, and always makes people feel like they're not alone in the world, and they always, you know, love to be around Yuji. Well, and that's it. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about JJK. It's one of my favorite series, and Yuji is one of my favorite main characters. I try to be objective as possible and just show the facts that what JJK has presented to us in this series. Let me know what you like about Yuji, and also who's your favorite main character ever, even if Yuji's not your favorite. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.